Hey, now we have worked on our pitches and we've gotten those approved or questions answered on our flip grids. And so from there, we're going to focus on that story and how we've kind of helped you approach this. And so by doing so, we're going to actually use a graphic organizer to get our thoughts organized and focused and where we want to go with this story. And instead of just writing our script, we're going to use this organizer. So in Canvas, under Story Design Worksheet, you are going to click in there where you're seeing this video, and then below that it's going to say click here to get your story design worksheet. It's going to force you to make a copy of it, and that's the one you're going to work on. So I'm going to switch my screen to what you will see then. So once I am in there, I've already kind of worked on this one, I put the show number, and that's going to be on the Cub TV boards in the editing room. So you'll see what show you're on. Then you will type in your feature of what your topic's going to be for this story. And then the due date. That is when your story is due before editing can begin. So you have to think that it might take probably a week to do editing of your story. So the week before, so that Friday before is when all your pre-production is due. Okay? So let's say I put it down as April 5th, 2019. Okay, so in here you have a triangle in here of what we're focusing on. And then we have 3 interviews. So I want you to think about how am I going to approach this story. So if I go into this area, I can edit this, and I can type right in here. So in here, I'm going to type in what is my unique perspective. So I want to know what it's like to be a foreign exchange student, and maybe their experiences of coming to a foreign land. So, perspective of students to a brand new school. Okay, now when I think about that, I'm like, ooh, that would be any new student. So that's not what I want. I want to have focus more on the foreign exchange side of things, and so I want to think about how I can make this unique. So I'm going to think about coming to a foreign country, coming to a school in a foreign country. That's more what I was thinking. So then that's what I'm going to put there. And then my interview, I'm going to put the name of someone I'm going to interview about this story. And so I want 3 unique perspectives in here. So I might talk to like Mr. Baker, and because he might have the contact information, or he might have someone I would be in contact with about foreign exchange students, or maybe he knows. So I might need to do some research to see if he knows that information. If he does not, if he could put me in contact with someone. So it might be somebody outside of the district. And then what questions would I like to ask of him? Now these questions should be open-ended, so it's not like a yes/no, but if it is something like that, how you can have them elaborate. So you're going to put 3 questions down for each of your interviews. So like interview 2, I don't know any of the foreign exchange students' names right now, but I think Monique is one of them. So I would put her name, and then what questions would I want to ask of her? Okay, and then I would think, okay, what would be another perspective of, I have a foreign exchange student already, I have a teacher, how else could I approach this? And maybe I know of someone, I think Spawn Sellers have a student, foreign exchange student, or they did in the past. I can't remember if they did this year or if it was last year. But then I would put my 3 questions since they hosted a foreign exchange student. And so that would be 3 perspectives I could have. Or I might take somebody that moved from a different country that isn't a foreign exchange student, but maybe moved from Mexico here or something. Depending on how you want to look at this, if you want to just focus on foreign exchange, this would be a way you could do it and have 3 unique perspectives. Okay, and you have to come up with your questions, and you're going to write those in for each of your students. And then this, oops, I made an error there, should say story angle. And so what are you going to focus on in your feature story? So that's kind of like this part here too, like coming to a school in a foreign country, but what's my angle with it? So what do I want my audience to gain from it? So I want my audience to feel what it is like for students foreign exchange program. What it takes for the students to actually be in the program, and what rules they need to follow. And then how also I want to, because I have, like, I'm talking to Bianca, and also I want the idea of what it's going to take for someone to host, takes to host a foreign exchange student. So that would be what I'm focusing on for my story. So I hope that gives you a guideline on what you're supposed to fill out for your story design worksheet. So once you are done with this part, I'm going to take me off. I'm going to move this here. Once you're done, you're going to go and you're going to click share, and you're going to get a shareable link, copy this, and then you're going to submit that into Canvas. If you have questions on how to do so, let me know. But I think you have a good idea of where you're supposed to go next.